In the east you will find more camels, in the west you will find more lions. That's why in the east surrender seems so easy. For the western mind, surrender seems so difficult. But one thing has to be remembered, the eastern mind finds it very easy to surrender, but it will change. Here surrender is not of much value. He does not know how to say no. That's why he says yes. When a western mind surrenders, it's very difficult, but there is great transformation because the surrender has been hard, arduous, and uphill task. In the east, the surrender is cheap, in the west, it's costly. Only a few courageous people can afford it. The east surrenders because there is no more possibility of becoming a lion. It feels very comfortable, easy to surrender, to become part of a mob or a mass. The West has created the ego. The West has paid more attention to the lion, doubt, disbelief, ego. But whenever the Western mind surrenders, there is really great transformation. The Eastern mind surrenders reminds the camel. If the Western mind surrenders, there is possibility for the child to be born. When the lion surrenders, he becomes the child. When the camel surrenders, he remains the camel. Philosophers say individual has to be taught the ego before he will be able to drop it. The Eastern philosophy doesn't know about it, but it's there. Each individual has to come to a very crystallized ego. Only then is the dropping of any help, otherwise not. The first state of the camel is unconscious. The second state of the lion is subconscious, a little higher than the unconscious. A few glimpses of the conscious have started coming in. The sun is rising and a few rays are entering into the dark room where you are asleep. The unconscious is no more unconscious, something is stirred in the unconscious. It has become subconscious. But remember, the change is not great from camel to the lion as it's going to be from the lion to the child. The change is a kind of reversion. The camel starts standing on its head and become the lion. The camel says yes and the lion says no. The camel is positive, the lion is negative. Movement is born, but the plane is the same. Your being a camel is a gift of society. Your being a lion will be a gift that you give to yourself. Unless you love yourself, you will not be able to do it. Unless you want to become an individual, unique in your own right, unless you take the risk of going against the current, you will not be able to become a lion. But if you understand the mechanism, in the very heart of the camel, the lion is created. Again and again, saying yes and saying no, no gives accumulation. And one day comes when one is fed up with saying yes. Just for the change, one wants to say no. One is fed up with the positive, the taste of it becomes monotonous. Just for the change, one wants to taste no. That's how the camel from the first time starts having dreams of the lion. And once you have tasted the no, the doubt, the disbelief, you can never be a camel again because it brings such liberty, such freedom. Anyway, it would have come, but it's sooner you realize that it's better. The majority is stuck at the camel stage. The minority is stuck at the lion stage. The majority means the masses and the minority means the intelligentsia. The artist, the poet, the painter, the musician, the thinker, the philosopher, the revolutionary, the self-made industrialist, self-made millionaires, billionaires, the brand new politician saying with positive attitude, those who don't want to take advantage of the establishment are at the second stage. They are far better than the camels, but the goal is not yet achieved. They have not come home. The third stage of a child is far away. This stage is possible only if the caterpillar comes close to a butterfly. Otherwise, it's not possible. How will the caterpillar ever think that he can fly on his own, that he can become a winged wonder? It's not possible. It's impossible to think. The caterpillar knows how to move, but a fly is just absurd, illogical. From the camel to the lion, it's evolution. From the lion to the child, it's revolution. A master is needed at that stage. The society can make you a camel, you yourself can make a lion. But you will need a master, a Buddha, a Christ, a Muhammad, as you will need a butterfly that has wings as models. How can you dream about something that you haven't known at all? The dream is possible only when you have been something, when you see something, when you have seen a Christ or a Buddha or Muhammad, and you know that this happens. And these people look just like you, and still they are not like you. They have the same body, the same structure, and yet something from the unknown has penetrated their being. The beyond has come into them. The beyond is very, very tangible there. If you approach them with sympathy and love, you will be able to have a few glimpses of their inner sky. And once you have seen that inner sky, you will start dreaming about it. A great longing will arise in you. How to become a winged phenomenon. That's the infection that comes from the master to the disciple. The third phenomenon, the child, happens through the master. The first stage, the camel, was dependence. The second stage was independence. But in innocence, one comes to know that neither is there dependence nor is interdependence. All are dependent on each other, it's all one. The sense of whole is born. Small I, no thou, no fixation with yes or no, no obsession either to say yes always or to say no always. More fluidity, more spontaneity. Neither obedience nor disobedience, but spontaneity. Spontaneity with responsibility is born. Fear is gone. Delays are gone. Doubts are gone. One responds to existence, does not reach out to the past and does not react out to the future. There is a big I or we that is born. The big I is different from the small-minded I. The big I says I, and you are one to the whole world and beyond. The camel lives in the past. The lion lives in the future. The child lives in the present. Here, now. The camel is pre-mind. The lion is mind. The child is post-mind. The camel is pre-self. The lion is self. The child is post-self. That's what the meaning of the state of no mind is. The ego is gone. The mind chattering is gone, as they always exist or exist together or exit together. Either are part of one energy, they both disappear. The child simply is ineffable, indefinable, a mystery, a wonder. The camel has memory, the lion has knowledgeability, and the child has wisdom. The camel is either Christian, Hindu or Mohammedan. Theist, the lion is non-believer of structures, atheist. The child is religious, neither theist nor atheist, neither Hindu nor Mohammedan nor Christian nor communist. Just simple religiousness, the quality of love, truth and innocence. Adam eats the fruit becomes a lion. Adam, before eating the fruit from the tree of knowledge, is the camel. And when Adam has vomited the fruit again, dropped knowledge, he is child. That child means Christ to Christians, Muhammad to Mohammedans, Buddha to Buddhists, Krishna to Hindus. The camel is Adam before eating the fruit. The lion is Adam after eating the fruit. And the child is Adam become Christ, returning back home. Buddha calls it nirvana. Jesus calls it the kingdom of God. Hindus call it Ram Rajya. You can call it anything you like. Words don't mean much there. It's a wordless silence, a thoughtful innocence. Meditation is a daily, weekly connection that leads us into the transformation from camel to the lion and lion to the child. We talked about small I and the big I. In camel there is no I. In lion it's the small I, very, very narrow I about self. In child it's a very big I connecting the entire world to the super consciousness. First about the light meditation technique used for several thousand years is the connection required to shed our everyday accumulations. These accumulations come from our daily lives. information that comes from all sources by selective seeing, selective reading, selective hearing, selective talking, all accumulate in our database and make our presence still more complex. Our aim is to shed the weight and become childlike so that we remain closer to our purpose. How can you know your purpose in this life and lead a purposeful life? Unless you stop that mind chattering and shed the ego, even identifying who you are is extremely difficult. Is it possible for you to sit in silence for at least half an hour a day in silence without that mind chattering and without that self-orbiting thoughts? Not now, but by practice you can achieve that. In the next video, the light meditation technique shown is the well-established and greatly lauded practice for thousands of years. Just by knowing you cannot achieve anything. By practicing, yes, you can do everything. Knowledge is nothing if it is not practiced. The ball is in your court, strike the goal, or you have to be in the court forever. Thank you.